Hello, beautiful souls. I just felt a call to share a quick reminder. Something that I have been learning again and again is that you can't force clarity. I know there's been a lot of change, there's been a lot of confusion, um, just a lot of shifting and rearranging at the very core, at the very core of many of our beliefs and paradigms and things that we thought were true, or even maybe timelines that we were on that are suddenly changing, and all kinds of things, again, just sort of changing and rearranging in different areas of life. And one of the consistent themes I've noticed again is that in times of change, in times of, again, just confusion or uncertainty, not knowing maybe the whole plan of where you're going, I think this might be part of just the changing of the operating system, the changing of consciousness, that the evolution that we're going through, where, in the past, and I feel like this is maybe more of an ego paradigm, there's a lot more planning, there's a lot more, um, almost even like, I guess, solidness and who we think we are, or what we think we're doing, or what we think we need to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying that's not still part of our lives, as human beings on earth. But I just noticed this theme, and I just want to affirm this for anyone who may be feeling this, because I know for myself, a lot of this, sort of, again, change or maybe confusing energies, it's really been asking of me to be more present. Once again, be very, very present, and like a whole new level of taking things day by day, taking things kind of moment by moment. And again, I don't think the ego really likes this, because the ego wants to have more of a sense of control and certainty. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just, again, feel more of like it's a new way of being. It's a change kind of in the operating system of um, having more trust and faith in ourselves, in God, in our higher selves, in the presence, and in the knowing that even if we don't always understand what's happening or what we're going to do or what we're supposed to do, having more trust and faith and presence to know that in each moment we are always going to be given what we need. And in a lot of times, if you are in times of again, confusion or uncertainty, leaning in deeper into the present moment and knowing that what you need, and whether it's the information or the resources or the clarity, just knowing that it's what you need right now is already here. Even if, again, the ego doesn't believe that, because it's different than it used to be, what you need to know, you already know now. And as you navigate your moments, your days, your months, being able to have more faith and trust, and knowing that what you need to know, again, or what you need to have, is going to be given to you in each moment. And this is actually an abundance key as well, knowing that the things that you need are going to be provided for you, and they will be, and they always are. But I think there's so much suffering when, again, we expect things, we think things have to be given to us or played out in a certain way. And I've just been so humbled again and again lately, realizing that, again, my ego, my human self, there's so much that, she doesn't know. She doesn't understand. And that's okay. Being okay with that. Actually, I had this really profound moment a month or so ago where I was feeling these energies, feeling all of these energies. I know a lot of people, again, have been feeling a lot. Again, especially with fear and anxiety, because fear and anxiety have been like the biggest driving factors of our world and of our life, for all of us, whether we want to admit it or not. And so feeling some of that starting to like kind of purge and be cleared in our bodies, in our system. I know for me, there's moments where I'm feeling that fear and that anxiety, and then, and as I've said before, like it's so important to really learn how to feel, It's something we should have been taught in school, but we're kind of taught the opposite. We're taught how to like sort of suppress and deny. But just being able to not be afraid of those feelings and being able to feel them, because again, they're designed to move. Emotions are designed to move through you, and they move by your feeling them, by your recognizing them, by your not resisting them. That's how they're able to kind of get unstuck. And there's a lot of wisdom and strength that comes through, that process of allowing yourself to feel some of these really deep emotions that, again, sometimes feel like they're going to kill you, but they're not going to kill you. We're safe to feel any emotion. And, that's, again, that ego. But I notice sometimes, if I'm going through a process like that and I'm feeling very, very intense emotions, new emotions, there's a lot of new, sort of unfamiliar kind of feelings, for many of us. And sometimes if I'm going through that process of feeling deep emotions, I've learned in myself that there's a lot of wisdom in being able to just feel them and let them move through you without trying to understand them right away. And sometimes when you're feeling really intense things like that, what I'm trying to say is like, if you can just allow yourself to feel them and feel them and feel them as much as they need to kind of move, without trying to grab onto them, without trying to understand them, without trying to sort of pinpoint exactly, what does this mean? What does this mean? What am I supposed to do with this? Where is this coming from? Like, what am I going to do? I don't understand this. Trying to understand it and maybe not being able to understand it, that's the mind getting involved. And even in that, sometimes trying to sort of understand something sort of sometimes prematurely almost, because it's like you have to let the feeling almost like move through you first. Again, this is just my experience. So hopefully that's helpful. So I think a key there of what I'm trying to say is being able to feel some of these really deep things that may come up at these times. Again, fear, anxiety, confusion, stress, or maybe sorrow or anger or shame or whatever it is, allowing it to get unstuck by just going within, going in your heart and feeling it without any resistance. And sometimes it takes a minute, some of these things, sometimes it takes a minute, sometimes it takes several minutes, sometimes it comes in spurts. But when it comes in, being able to just have this sort of focus on feeling it, letting it move through you. And there's going to be that temptation, especially I think if you're a mental person, which we're probably all mental, very mental. It's like in the process of feeling it, there's going to be maybe points where like your mind is going to want to interject and grab on and be like, what does this mean? What does this mean? Wait a minute. What does this mean? Is this okay? Is this safe? What am I supposed to do with this? I don't understand this. And then you kind of get into this sort of mental hold in it. And then you can kind of, again, in a way, get kind of stuck there for a second, because maybe instead of, trying to understand it and force yourself to sort of have this understanding of it, sometimes you just have to let these feelings flow through you. New feelings, maybe deep feelings, core feelings that maybe you haven't experienced in quite this way yet before, that you're safe to feel, letting this process just move, letting it move, letting yourself feel, not judging yourself about it. Stop judging yourself about it. There's nothing wrong with you. Stop giving into that paradigm that there's something wrong, Maybe you just need to feel these feelings. And what's so beautiful though is once you get through that process though of feeling it, and it will move. Again, maybe it takes a few seconds, a few minutes, maybe it takes several minutes, or however long it takes, but it will move. If you just, the less resistance you feel, the more you just allow it to move and stop trying to grab onto it and pull some kind of meaning out of it. What's beautiful is that once it moves, and you will know, it's an intuitive thing, it's a practice, the more you do it, the more you'll start to recognize what I'm saying. But then when you feel it, you're feeling it, there will come a point where it calms. Without thinking about it, without trying to understand it or make these like meaning attached to it, allowing it to just move. Let that, for example, fear, let it move. just feel it full on in the fire, just like go right into it, just go right into it, and eventually you'll reach this point where it's like, okay, I'm not feeling that anymore because you let it move through you. And then in that moment when you let it move through you and it's run its course, normally that's the point though where naturally, not because you're trying to understand it or because you're trying to force it or put meaning to it, that's when the information will suddenly reveal itself to you. And that's the time, where you'll have some kind of epiphany, maybe a major breakthrough, or maybe just a little message, just a little guidance, just a little, oh, this is what I need to do. Oh, this is what I should be doing. Oh, okay, I see now. And so I hope this is helpful because I know there is a lot of that. And just know that you're not alone. You're not crazy. It's like we're all feeling this in our own way. And again, we're all evolving. We're all learning new ways to be. And we're learning new ways to navigate new levels of this consciousness, of this experience. And so sometimes like the old kind of formulas, it's like they also have to evolve. We have to evolve in the way we're being and responding and feeling and understanding and filtering this whole experience is also going to evolve. So hopefully this is helpful, and you find your own ways, because at the end of the day, we have the most important thing is for us to be connected to our own guidance and to learn to trust that, and there's so many beautiful resources out here with so many different techniques and wisdom and stuff like that we can learn from. But again, at the end of the day, it's like nothing is going to compare to your own inner guidance and your own inner wisdom, because with this spiritual awakening, there's so many things that are simply not black and white, and there's so many things that are going to seem kind of paradoxical. So sometimes something that may be true in one case for someone, for you it might be something different. So I don't know, just throwing that in there, because we have to really trust ourselves and trust our guidance. And to receive that guidance, normally we have to be in this receptive mode. And to be in this receptive mode is hard when we're resisting these feelings and we're trying to understand it prematurely. We're trying to force clarity. And again, there's just something about that I've been learning so much where it's just like sometimes clarity just cannot be forced. It's something that emerges naturally in divine timing, in your divine process, as you're meant to understand. And even if you don't understand the whole picture right away, you're going to be given the peace that you need. And this is, again, a very intimate trust that we have to build with ourselves, with God. It's a very, very intimate trust and presence, being present, trusting that we have everything we need right now, and that in every now moment, we're going to be given what we need. And again, the more we can sort of lean into that and relax into that and open into that, the more we're going to feel this abundance, real abundance, not just talking like money, like this. Again, I think, I'm talking about abundance in the sense of having what we need, having what we need, and even having, overflowing what we need, whether that is money or resources, or whether that is, clarity or peace or calm or direction or guidance, whatever it is, we have to sort of be able to receive that. So hopefully that's helpful, because I know for me, again, it's like trying to understand these things. You will understand, understanding is a beautiful thing. And, in clarity and under, having this knowing of what this is that's arising in your experience at any given moment. But sometimes it's like you have to kind of allow that process to unfurl without getting without trying to grab onto every little thing and understand it, which in many ways can be the ego trying to have control. The ego is just trying to control your experience because it wants to feel in control. It wants to feel safe. It wants to feel like, okay, I know exactly what's happening. And I feel like in this sort of, again, new way of being, it's like, it's almost like completely, um, I don't want to say inverted, but it's like completely different way of being. It's not my human ego controlling everything. It's like I'm literally being guided and led by my soul in each now moment. So I feel like I could talk on about this on and on, but this is the core of just what I wanted to say, especially for anyone who is going through an experience that they don't understand. Just know that you're not alone. It's part of the process. And again, I've had to really learn to lean into that and be okay with that, because clarity will come. Clarity will always come. If you're in something crazy that you don't understand, just know that you will at some point, you will find yourself outside of that web, and you will have clarity. And the more I think you can, again, trust and accept and flow with that, and with this presence that I've been talking about so much lately, this part of you that is invincible, that is unshakable, that is real. I feel like maybe that's actually the point, is like, these processes I know can be so freaky and intense, and feeling like you're being pushed beyond your limits. And a lot of the times, again, it's like, that's the ego wants to take that as, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong. What am I doing wrong? Why am I being punished? What did I do? Maybe it's actually that we're all being so pushed out of our comfort zones, like pushed off the ledge. For most of us, whether you like it or not, kind of pushed to the boundary of what you think you're capable of experiencing or handling, and you can't handle it. And it's not that there's something wrong with you, it's that this is how we evolve. There's a little bit of pain involved in it, and that's okay. Just like, I guess, being okay with that. And the best way to truly be okay with that, to accept that, and to even learn in a way to enjoy it, is by again and again and again choosing to be present, choosing to remember who you really are beyond this material form. Choosing to connect with that part of yourself that is not afraid of any of this, has no worry about any of this stuff that's going on, because it knows it's invincible, it knows it's unshakable, it knows that it's not any of it. This is just the human experience that we're in, that we're like on this ride. And last thing I'll say is, like, when you start really tuning into that higher part of yourself, and allowing it to guide you more and more and more in your life, it's not that you're not participating in your life. It's not that you're not making choices or having a human experience, because you are. It's not that you're not participating in it. It's just a new way of participating in it. A new way. It's unfamiliar. It's uncharted territory, and we're pioneers, and it takes a lot of courage to do this stuff. It takes a lot of courage to do this stuff. And, for many of us, you might be the first one in your family, the first one in your community, the first person you even know personally, perhaps, or maybe just one of a few that is having the calling and the courage to do this. So just trust in yourself so much. We have to trust in ourselves so much. Trust in who we are really. Trust in God for real. Now that it's like really getting intense, it's like we've already been doing this, but really stepping and leaning even deeper and deeper into who we really are. So much love to all of you, just so much love. Remember to have compassion with yourself, have kindness with yourself. Don't be so judgmental of yourself, because again, that's just the ego, judging your experience, judging your human experience. It's just another way sometimes of getting stuck on these things, when it's like we're kind of being asked to flow and flow and flow. Flow is so important. And flow doesn't mean that everything is always easy. It means you're flowing. It means you're not getting caught up on everything. You're not getting stuck on things. It means you're flowing. It doesn't mean that everything's easy. It's like flowing down a river. Sometimes it's calm, sometimes it's rapid, sometimes there's rocks, sometimes it's, just completely clear. It's just, again, flowing on this infinite river, and just, again, trusting it, and starting to be okay with that, and even enjoying it. It's like a roller coaster ride. It really is like a roller coaster. I'm really, grateful. I spent a lot of my childhood riding roller coasters, and it really is like that. Sometimes you're going up and you're like, oh my God, what is this? And you're flying down, or the loop-de-loops, or just, calm, just it's just allowing it all to kind of just be okay, because it's, it is what it is. And I don't know how to explain it, but I hope that, that's coming across, because what I'm really trying to explain is just getting really in touch. And again, for many of us, it's not, almost not even a choice. It's like a demand to like get in touch with this part of yourself that is unfazable. Not just in theory, not just, oh, that sounds philosophically nice. No, like really in your body, getting in touch with this part of yourself that's unshakable, because it's necessary for everything that we're doing. Okay, so much love to all of you. See you soon.